RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by St. Peter's Hardware and Rental, the best products, service, and expert advice. Mallory Sports, where your sports world begins. Ace Hardware. Ace, the helpful place. First Mid-America Credit Union. New name, same great credit union. Jack Schmidt Chevrolet. If you don't know where to get the best auto deals, then you don't know Jack Schmidt. Alton Refrigeration, the first choice in quality HD TV and appliances. Quality Buick, GMC, Cadillac. Serving the River Bend for 52 years. Barry Macias, professional independent insurance agents. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance. All your protection under one roof. Alton Memorial Hospital, the best health care close to home. Tom Lane State Farm, your good neighbor agent in the River Bend.
Park, where the Marquette Explorers are the home team, and they're hosting the Southwestern Piasa Birds in a big rivalry here tonight on Z1570. Start was scheduled for 7:15 tonight, but the first pitch fired at 6:52, and we're underway a little bit early. A leadoff walk to Hunter Watson to start things off. The right-hander on the hill for Marquette, Brogan Fisher, walks the leadoff man, and now a 1-1 count now on the number 2 hitter, Andrew Summer.
First strike of the game there for Brogan Fisher. 5 straight balls to come out with there after that walk of ball 1 to start off the second hitter.
1-1 pitch on the way from Fisher, and it's outside. Catcher going to fire down to first. Diving back in there safely is Hunter Watson.
Marquette's catcher had a shot at that runner there, Johnny Wilson, the catcher for Marquette, but he double clutched it just a little bit before he let the throw go, and was just enough time for the runner, Watson, to be able to get back into first base.
2-1 count now on the hitter. Sitting pretty at the dish. Pitch fired inside, moves the count to 3-1. The runner is going to scoot down to second as the ball got away from the catcher.
That's when Brogan Fisher's, he's a little bit off when he's missing high and into the right-handed batter's box. He has an issue at times to not get the ball out of his glove on time. His arm will drag back. Brogan, a 10th grader, I believe, has very good velocity. He sits right around 80 miles an hour, give or take, and he just has a trouble throwing strikes from time to time.
From the stretch, delivers a tapper back to the hill. Runner breaks for third. The throw over in time at first, and down to third base goes Hunter Watson as Summers retired. 1-3.
And as you saw right there, Fisher able to get that fastball in on the hands of the Piasa Bird hitter and fist it right back to Brogan Fisher, big number 11, making the play.
That'll bring in Adam Watts, a second baseman, a right-handed hitter with a runner down at third and 1 away, and he takes it up and in for ball 1. Brogan Fisher, a right-handed hurler, back on top. Looks in, gets his sign, rocks and delivers. And it's down low, a little bit outside. 2-0 now on the hitter, Watts.
Fisher's going to have to do a much better job of getting in the strike zone here early in the count.
Pitch sails up and in to the hitter, Watts. And the count 3-0 now.
Well, a walk wouldn't be the worst thing in the world here. It would put the double play back in order with only 1 out here in the first inning.
But it would bring the cleanup hitter to the dish. Pitch in there for a strike, and it's 3-1. The hitter, Watts, taking all the way. Adam Watts digs back in. The pitch on the way from Fisher. Outside for ball 4, so Watts will draw the second walk of the inning.
Well, Coach Joe Silkwood's going to make his way to the mound here, an early mound visit for Brogan Fisher here in the first inning with only 1 out. I'm sure Coach Silkwood sees something in there in the dugout he wants to come out and fix up here. 2 walks through the first 3 hitters already for Brogan Fisher.
Brian Lewis, you've made some visits to the mound early in a ball game. What do you tell a pitcher when he's struggling with his control this early?
Well, it depends on the pitcher, obviously, and as I mentioned earlier, Brogan Fisher, I've known Brogan actually for a long time. He used to come out to those Bluff City Bomber camps as a young boy that we used to run out here, and he's always had the same issue. You know, he'll tend to not get the ball out of his glove early enough, and he won't break his hands early enough. His arm lags behind, and then everything will be high and in to the right-handed hitters, and, you know, that's what he's doing here today, and I'm sure Coach Silkwood, who in his own right was a great pitcher, when he pitched and knows exactly what's going on, is probably telling him along the same lines. You got to get the ball out of your glove quicker so your arm can get through the throwing zone and get that ball down. He's throwing hard enough. He's got good enough stuff that if he can get the ball down, he should be successful here today.
You think maybe he's just a little bit too fired up here for the start and overthrowing a bit?
He could be. He had a very good outing his last time out, Fisher did, striking out a lot of hitters and doing a good job. I believe that was against Bunker Hill. In this, as you mentioned, a rivalry game here, South Central Conference, this is always big between the Piasa Birds and Explorers. So the juices are flowing a little bit out there for number 11. As I mentioned, he's only a 10th grader.
Jordan Orban digs in now, the shortstop and cleanup hitter for Southwestern, and takes strike one across the outside corner. Looked like he made some adjustments there, Brian. What do you think?
Yeah, it was a little better there. Hopefully he can repeat that motion.
Curveball there, looked pretty good, but misses for ball one.
He just needs to be able to throw the strikes, use his defense. He's got a pretty decent defense behind him out there with the gloves. He needs to get them involved.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Another good curveball. And this hitter, the cleanup hitter, he's ahead of. First hitter in this inning he's been able to jump out in front of.
Jordan Orban, good-sized young man in there here in the cleanup hole.
First and third for him with one away. Swing and a shot foul down the right side. And the count remains 1-2. Fisher much closer to the strike zone now, it looks like.
It looks like Coach Silkwood told him what he wanted to tinker with out there. It seems to be working, at least for this hitter.
1-2 pitch in the dirt. A good block by the catcher, and the runner, though, able to scoot down to second base. And catcher may have been thinking he's got the runner down at third, and by the time he come up with it, no need to throw there.
Yeah, the catcher, Johnny Wilson, did a very good job of blocking that ball in the dirt. Nice form, kept it right there in front. But as you mentioned, he might have had a shot at throwing that runner out, but decided to eat the ball with the runner being at third base.
Orban waits now with runners at second and third. The 2-2 pitch and a swing and a miss, and a big strikeout there for Fisher. He really needed that.
And it gets 2 down here, and with the number 5 hitter coming up, looks like this will be Stephen Jones stepping into the box for Southwestern.
And if you're Jordan Orban and you're up there with 1 out and runners in scoring position, the last thing you want to do is strike out. Unable to get the job done, and it'll take a 2-out hit now. Stephen Jones, left fielder for Southwestern. Breaking pitch down in the dirt for a ball.
It looks like the other thing that Brogan Fisher's doing a little more of since the visit from Silkwood is throwing that breaking ball. He didn't throw many of those curveballs, if any, the first couple hitters. And it looks like he's throwing that a little bit more here in the last couple hitters.
The 1-0 pitch. Misses outside with a curveball, and it's 2-0. And as a coach, if you notice your pitcher's got a pitch that he's throwing well for strikes, maybe in warm-ups, is that possibly what Silkwood noticed and then went out there and said, hey, what's up with the curve?
Well, it could be. I got a feeling he was out there talking more mechanics on the fastball, though. As you see right there, he misses high and in to the right-handed hitter. That's where he'll miss. When Fisher's off, he'll miss high and in to the right-handed hitters. And it's just a little bit of an adjustment for him to get the ball out of his glove quicker, get the arm through.
The 3-0 now on the way. And that will be ball 4, and that'll load the bases up for Ryan Castings. Now, I've heard many times that a lot of the pitching problems usually go right to their head. They lose their confidence, and especially in a situation like this, walking 4 batters, you're having a tough time throwing a strike, and you talk yourself in circles.
That can happen more than you know. But I will say this, just because I know Brogan Fisher on a personal level, confidence isn't necessarily a problem with Mr. Fisher out there.
He fires a strike into Ryan Castings with the bases loaded and 2 down. Fisher ready with the 0-1. Strike 2, and that one in at the letters. Fastball. Quickly 2 strikes on Casting. Fisher brings home the 0-2. Swing and a foul back. And the count remains 0-2 on Ryan Castings with the bases loaded and 2 down.
Looks like that foul ball caught the throwing shoulder of the catcher, Johnny Wilson there. After the foul ball, he's rubbing that right shoulder. We'll see if maybe that comes into play.
Pitch on the way, and a big curveball. Swing and a miss for strike 3, so Fisher able to pitch out of the jam. leaves the bases loaded and will move to the bottom of the first inning with no score. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
Since 1947, St. Peter's Hardware and Rental has been helping you get the job done right. When planning a do-it-yourself project, party, or event, turn to St. Peter's for what you need to make it successful. St. Peter's carries brand-name tools like DeWalt, Bosch, and Milwaukee, quality True Value paints backed by a lifetime warranty, and everything else you need from gadgets to grills. Shop in-store or shop online. St. Peter's Hardware and Rental, the best products, service, and expert advice. At Jack Schmidt Chevrolet in Wood River, we make car buying a breeze. A member of our sales team will assist you in selecting the perfect new or GM certified pre-owned vehicle, and we back it up with our guaranteed price policy. Our commitment to you continues after the sale with genuine Goodwrench service. So if you don't know where to get the best deal on quality vehicles and service,
You don't know Jack Schmidt in Wood River, Illinois.
Brogan Fisher able to pitch out of a tough jam there with the bases loaded. Now the Explorers with a chance here in the bottom of the first inning against a right-handed hurler, Zach Porter.
Yeah, depending on which coach you are down there, you're either very, very happy and feel lucky about that first inning, or you're a little bit upset because you couldn't get the runner in from third with less than 2 outs. 3 walks. A pitcher gives you 3 walks in an inning. You need to score there, and 9 times out of 10 you do. But for Coach Hanslow and the Piasa Birds, they couldn't push one across. They couldn't make Fisher and the Explorers pay for that, so we'll see how this goes. But Porter on the mound here for Southwestern, their number 1 starter. He throws the ball very well as well, so this should be a good pitching matchup through the course of this game.
Well, you're right, Brian. You very seldom see a leadoff walk not come around to score, let alone 3 walks in an inning.
Hey, and the only way you do that is by striking out hitters, and Fisher was able to do that. He came back and struck out a couple guys, and they weren't able to put the ball in play. So right off the bat, clutch hitting is a little bit of a question for Coach Hanslow down there here in the early going.
And I think you're right about his mechanics being the problem, because definitely his confidence was there, or he wouldn't have been able to strike out those 2 batters.
Well, when you throw hard, confidence can stick around, even when you're not throwing strikes.
Zach Porter delivers his first pitch to the leadoff hitter for the Explorers, and that's Nick Schrank, the first baseman, and he takes strike 1. Schrank, a right-handed hitter, waits on the 0-1. Sails outside, and the count evened up at 1-1. Porter brings home the 1-1 pitch. And it's off the plate now, 2-1.
Yeah, as you can see here in the early going, Zach Porter throws the ball pretty hard as well. He does a good job for the Piasa Birds club here. He's a senior right-hander. He's on the board of a few colleges in the area.
Swing and a shot out to short, backhanded, bobbled. The throw on the way, a high throw, and over the first baseman's head. Schrank thought about second base, but he'll stay right there on the throwing error by the shortstop.
Schrank hit that ball right on the nose, but right at the shortstop. Number 23, Jordan Orban, was unable. He made a nice play backhand the ball, but was unable to make the throw. He sailed it over the head of Ryan Casting. Nothing Casting could have done about that one.
That'll bring in the number 2 hitter, the pitcher, Brogan Fisher, with a runner down at first and nobody out. And the runner goes. A pitch up high. The throw down is short and safe down at second is Schrank as the ball bounces into center field.
Yeah, well, Nick Schrank's not your typical first baseman. He's pretty fleet of foot out there. Most first basemen not very fast, bigger gentlemen that don't run well, but that's not Nick Schrank by any means. He's a leadoff hitter, even though he's a first baseman, and he's up there for a reason. He can run the bases.
Pitch on the way, a swing, and a foul off. Count even at 1-1 now on Fisher. Runner down at second. Fisher would like to at least move him along to third base here, if not drive him in. Pitch on the way. Outside. 2-1 now. Hitters count for the right-handed hitter, Brogan Fisher. Pitch on the way, and it's off the plate. 3-1 now on Fisher.
Well, Porter, through the first 2 hitters, really trying to work the hitters away. He's really trying to pound that outside corner. He's just missing out off that corner by a little bit. Now he's behind 3-1. See if Fisher can help himself.
Pitch on the way, swing, and a foul off, out of play. How much does the aluminum bat affect pitching inside? I mean, because you can break a wooden bat doing that, but you're not going to do that with an aluminum one.
Well, the new ones we're using at the college level are very similar to wood now, even though they won't break. You get it in on them, they can't hit it with that new bat. But here, still at the high school level, it's still a little bit of a...
Here's a pitch outside, running down to third and stealing third is Schrank. Now the throw into left field, and he'll come home. Fisher going to trot down to second base. 2 overthrows there, 2 errors on the play. The throw down and the throw coming home, allowing Fisher to move down to second and a run home.
And as you saw right there, the feet of Schrank making things happen. He takes off, tries to steal third, catcher throws it into left field, and he scores a run. So, as we talked about, he may be a first baseman, but he's fast and he's a leadoff hitter, and he just made things happen there to put the Explorers ahead 1-0.
Pitch down in the dirt to the number 3 hitter, Derek Starrett, the center fielder.
There's no substitute for speed, Dennis. The shortstop rushed a little bit as he knew Schrank was getting down the line. He makes a bad throw. He steals second, he steals third, and then he scores on the overthrow.
Here's a 1-0 pitch that Starrett gets underneath and pops up into left field. Left fielder coming on and diving, but can't get to it. And that will be a single for Starrett.
Well, that's about
That's the biggest Texas leaguer I've ever seen there. That was a high pop-up. Left fielder playing pretty deep there, though, and he had a long way to go.
You took the words right out of my mouth. The highest hit Texas leaguer I've ever seen in my life. But, the left fielder had a long way to run, and that sun's bad out there. Anybody that's ever played shortstop, third base, or left field here at this ballpark this time of day knows how bad that sun can be. But one's got to wonder what the shortstop was doing there. He was just a few feet from the ball and never really moved to go get it. I think if Orban takes out after it, he probably can get there and catch that ball, but he stood there and watched the left fielder come in on it, and tough play for the left fielder, Stephen Jones. He couldn't quite get there.
I'm wondering if Orban was able to pick that ball up off the bat, as you talked about shortstop at this time of night being a tough time with the sun.
Well, those 4:15, 4:30 games are always torture. When you get this time of day, it's going down a little bit. It makes it a lot tougher in left field, than it does on the infield. But either way, the sun can be brutal out here on the left side of the field, and you got to have everybody surrounding the ball. When that ball goes up, you got to have everybody surrounding it this time of day, and that's what the Piasa Birds did not do, and the left fielder couldn't quite get there.
So runners at first and third with nobody out here in the bottom of the first to run home. The Explorers leading 1-0 over the Piasa Birds. Dennis Laird alongside Brian Lewis here in the bottom of the first inning from Gordon Moore Park. Right-hander fires over to first and back safely is Starrett. Zach Porter from the stretch looks in, gets a sign from the catcher, comes to the stretch and delivers a strike, and the throw down to second going to be cut off, but it's going to get past the cutoff man and into center field. So the runner going to score from third base, and over to third base goes Derek Starrett.
So the running game of the Explorers causing some problems out here for Southwestern in the early going, and stealing bases and making the Piasa Birds throw the ball around a little bit. They had the right play called there. It was a good job for the second baseman to come and cut that throw off, but he just didn't execute.
Here's the pitch from Porter. It's outside for a ball to Johnny Wilson. Now that's a baseball name there.
That's big Johnny Wilson down there.
2-0 now on him. Next one, swing and shot toward left field. There's a base hit for Johnny Wilson and an RBI.
And that's one thing Johnny Wilson does real well is he can get the head to the ball. He hits balls pretty hard back there. And that one, he smoked into left field on a 2-0 count. He doesn't get cheated when he's ahead in the count, that's for sure. And now we'll get a courtesy runner out there for Johnny Wilson.
Courtesy runner headed down to first base, as digging in will be Adam Harder, the left fielder here, with a runner down at first base. Still nobody out.
Looks like that's Jimmy Lawless, number 29, going to run out there at first base for John Wilson.
Think a guy like Lawless might have steel in his mind?
Well, looking at his body style, you would think he could run.
He's got the right name for it.
Was Tom Lawless fast?
I don't think so, from what I remember. It's been a while. Tom Lawless, there's a name from the past. 4 errors in the bottom of the first inning by the Piasa Birds. Here's a swing and a foul straight back off the bat of Adam Harder.
It was a good swing there. Harder right on it, fouled it straight back.
Harder, right-handed hitter against the right-handed hurler, Zach Porter. Still looking for the first Southwestern out. Explorers have scored 3 here in the bottom of the first on 1 hit. Swinging at one out of the zone up above his eyes is Adam Harder.
Zach Porter way ahead on the count here. See what he chooses to do with Adam Harder as he's got this 0-2 count.
Pitch on the way from Porter is off the plate for a ball. Not a bad place to miss there if you're trying to get a hitter to chase just off the plate with 2 strikes on him.
I would have tried to get him to chase that high fastball again.
Here's the next one. Down low. 2-2 now. Yeah, you can tell when you see a hitter chase that pitch that it's probably something they do often.
Mm-hmm. And it was still 0-2 after that as well, so he had plenty to play with there. But now it's 2-2, and Harder's back in the at-bat.
Pitch on the way. Sails outside, and it's full now.
I got a feeling the runner might be off on this one, Dennis, for the full count.
I like to run on 3-2. Lawless takes his lead. The 3-2 on the way is off the plate for ball 4. Second walk in the inning for Porter.
You know, Porter doesn't seem to be missing by that much. Those balls, they're not very low. They must just be missing off that outside corner by a couple inches.
Anthony Silkwood will dig in now for the Explorers. Still nobody out. Runners at first and second now. The Explorers have scored 3 on only 2 hits. Sails outside for a ball.
See, and Porter's almost having the opposite problem as Fisher right now. He's not staying on his line. He's opening up his front shoulder a little too much and getting it too far out there.
Swing and a miss by Silkwood, and the count 1-1.
Big spot here for the Explorers after getting out of that top of the first, that jam that they were in. Now putting some runs on the board, they could really try to blow this thing open here.
Pitch coming. Bunt attempt, bunted foul towards the Southwestern dugout. And the count 1-2. Silkwood trying to move him over here with nobody out there, I guess. May have been trying to bunt for a hit. The 1-2 outside for a ball, and it's 2-2. Now, the other problem you start running into is a nice long inning with a bunch of pitches. This pitcher is going to wear down, and that's going to make mistakes happen.
Absolutely.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So there's the first out here in the bottom of the first inning.
And the same thing there. You know, Marquette's already scored, but a strikeout really helps the Piasa Birds there as Marquette's unable to move the runners. You know, if they could have got that bunt down, it would be second and third with 1 out, but it's still first and second.
That'll bring in Tyler Moore. First pitch to him, missing down low for a ball. Moore with runners at first and second and 1 down now. The pitch on the way as Lawless creeps away from second. It's ball 2 to the right-handed hitter Tyler Moore. Runners take their lead. 2-0 pitch on the way. Swing and a chopper towards second. Second baseman over to get it. He'll throw on to first for the out, but the runners will move up to second and third.
Well, it'll be second and third now for number 20. Senior will step in the box, see if he can come up with a big 2-out hit for Marquette here.
Austin Senior digs in now for the Explorers with 2 down. They've got 3 home here in the bottom of the first with runners at second and third. As Porter from the stretch gets the sign and brings the first one home. Senior across the outside corner for a strike.
Continuing to work that outside corner, Zach Porter.
Porter is 0-1 on the way. Swing and a shot into right field. That's trouble. Splits the outfielders and goes to the fence. 1 run home. Here comes another. Senior to second, now digging for third. He'll hold up halfway between. Now he'll head to third and slide in there safely.
Well, Senior looked as he came around second like he wasn't quite sure what was going on. He had a triple easy. He stopped in between second and third, but was still able to make it over there to third base with a triple, and that's a huge 2-out hit for the Explorers, driving in both runs, extending the lead to 5-0.
And bringing in the number 9 hitter for the Explorers. Peter Ball takes a strike across the outside corner. He's the second baseman for the Explorers. Has a runner down at third now with 2 away and a 5-0 lead. This one sails inside, sends him scooting, and it's now 1-1.
And that's the first time we're on the 9th hitter. And that's the first time in 9 hitters where the pitch has been inside. They're just really not throwing inside here, Southwestern.
And that's so important as a hurler. Got to establish both sides of the plate, right, Brian?
Well, as you see the swing he takes right there, they went away again. After you move a hitter's feet like that, he's not going to stand in there as confident, and then the swing isn't as strong. Until that pitch before that, Zach Porter hadn't moved any feet of any hitter.
Got the strike there with a swing and a miss. It's 1-2 now on Peter Ball. This one down in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. Runner going to come home from third, and he makes it 6-0. Yeah, go ahead and try and say that name, Brian. Gaiki is his first name.
And I believe that's Shima Bakuro.
I think you're pretty close.
And actually, Shima Bakuro had nice form there. He did a good job going down to block that. It's just after it hit his chest protector, it bounced off to the left.
2-2 pitch. Sails outside, 3-2. You know, I was just waiting to do that to you.
No, that's fine. I was waiting to say it. I wasn't just going to call him number 5 all night.
We were practicing quite a bit before the game on that one. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4 to the number 9 hitter, and another walk of Zach Porter.
Well, that'll get the Explorers to turn the order over here in the first inning. Then we'll bat it around as Schrank comes back up to the dish.
We talked about in the top of the first how unusual it was to see 3 walks in an inning and no runs scored. This is more like it. You've had 3 walks in an inning, 4 errors, and 6 runs on the board. Here's a swing and a drive into center field. The center fielder coming over and will haul it in for out number 3 and retire Nick Schrank, who is the leadoff hitter, as the Explorers hit around here in the bottom of the first inning. They put 6 on the board with 3 base hits and lead 6-0 after 1. We'll move to the second. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
At First Mid-America Credit Union, they offer more than savings accounts, checking accounts, money markets, loans, and IRAs. They also offer a Visa Platinum Card, which rewards their members with low rates, no annual fees, no hidden fees, no balance transfer fees, built-in safety features to protect your card from fraud, and a reward program which rewards you for every purchase you make. Apply today for a First Mid-America Credit Union Visa Platinum Card at www.1stmidamerica.org.
There's a long pass, and looks like it's going to be overthrown. Oh, the receiver dashes under the ball and makes the catch. Touchdown!
Where did he get that extra burst of speed? That off-season training really paid off.
Alton Memorial Hospital's Human Motion Institute Sports Performance helps athletes maximize their potential and improve their game. With sports performance training, you'll leap higher, run faster, and throw farther. Learn more at altonmemorialhospital.org. Human Motion Institute Sports Performance, building better athletes.
Welcome back to Gordon Moore Park. Dennis Laird alongside Brian Lewis. 6-0 after 1 in favor of the Explorers as they're able to take advantage of 4 errors and 3 walks in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, so both pitchers struggling with control here in the first inning, walking guys, but the difference in the game was the fact that the Piasa Birds defense, as you mentioned, commit 4 errors. You throw 4 errors on top of 3 walks and mix in a couple hits, and that's going to equal a lot of runs every time. And in the top of the first, there wasn't any errors by the Marquette defense, partly because Brogan Fisher was able to strike out guys after he had the 3 walks. So we'll see what Southwestern can do here in the second as they try to get back in this ball game.
6-0 in favor of the Explorers. Fisher now pitching with the lead. And probably encouraged to throw some strikes and let his defense do the work behind him with that big lead.
This is where it's crucial to throw strikes.
Pitch on the way, swing and a pop-up into left field. Left fielder coming towards the line and will haul it in for out number 1 and retires the opposing pitcher, Zach Porter.
That was Adam Harder on that catch in left field as he was coming over to the foul line in order to get it. But as you see that flag blowing, that wind's pushing everything back towards right field. And what looked like it was going to be a foul ball off the bat drifted back fair, and Harder did a good job staying with it and making the catch.
That'll bring in Philip Reedy, the third baseman for the Piasa Birds, number 8 hitter. Takes it outside for ball 1.
I was a little bit surprised that the hitter was up there hacking at the first pitch after that long inning out there where the Explorers batted around and just went up there and 1 pitch, 1 out.
Pitch on the way. Outside corner for strike 1. It's 1-1 now on the right-handed hitter, Philip Reedy. Well, maybe the hitter's thinking he's going to throw strikes with a big lead. I'm jumping on the first one. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a chopper back up the middle. Shortstop gets it, fires on to first, and there's 2 away.
I had a coach that used to tell me, if you want to swing at the first pitch of an at-bat, you better not make a right turn. And you better not come back to that dugout.
Especially down by 6 runs, and you need base runners. Pitch on the way, inside to the catcher. Ball 1. Next one on the way. Outside, and it's 2-0. On the right-handed hitter, Kaiki. Oh, I'll do it. Shimbakuruo. Good name there. I prefer Johnny Wilson myself. 2-0 pitch on the way. In there for a strike, and it's 2-1.
We'll see if Fisher can come back on the hitter here as he was 2-0. Now he throws strike 1. See if he can come all the way back.
Pitch upstairs, and 3-1 now on Kaiki. I've shortened his name to that, kind of like Ichiro. 3-1 on the catcher for Southwestern. Down low, and Kaiki is on base,
Well, that's
just like Ichiro would be.
Yeah, good job there by Shimabukuro as he was able to work the count, draw a walk, get a runner on base, extend the inning a little bit, let his pitcher get a little rest. And we'll see what the Piasa Birds can do with 2 outs here in the second.
Piasa Birds will go with the courtesy runner down at first. For the catcher, and digging in, the leadoff hitter, Hunter Watson, who walked his first time, was stranded at third base.
I think that's Tyler Wilson out there, courtesy running for Southwestern, number 2.
I think you're right. Tyler Wilson, also a catcher, as he takes his lead from first. Left-handed hitter at the dish. Hunter Watson waits on the first one. Swing and a shot into right field. This one is down. The right fielder cuts it off. And the runners will hold up at first and second. They throw behind the runner down at second, but he's in there safely.
Well, that was a good job by the right fielder getting that ball back in so quick for Marquette. I believe that's Tyler Moore out there. He got it back in so quick they threw behind the base runner second. Were almost able to get him, but how about that swing there by Watson? You know, see, for that left-handed hitter, when Fisher misses up in a way like that, it's right in the hitting zone a lot of times for those lefties, and Watson crushed that thing out into right field.
That brings in Summers, number 2 hitter for Southwestern. And a curveball that doesn't break ends up going behind the hitter, Summers, and a nice job by Johnny Wilson to get to that.
Well, Fisher tried to be sneaky there with the runner at second, and he faked as if he was going to do an inside move, really turned his body a lot more than normal towards second, and that was the reason he wasn't able to get back around. That pitch went so crazy.
Pitch outside for ball 2. Well, he was effective at making the runner break back towards second, but the curveball sailing behind the hitter there. 2-0 now the count on Summers. There's a strike across the outside part, and it's 2-1.
You know, and in reality, it's such a deviation of his normal motion that technically there could have been and should have been a balk called on that play.
I was about to ask about the old balk. Next pitch on the way is in there for a called strike, and it's 2-2 on the right-handed hitter, Andrew Summers. 0 for 1, bounce back to the pitcher his first time.
Well, this is a big spot for Southwestern. Even if they can just scratch out a run or two just to get on the board, it'd be a big thing for them.
Breaking ball, and Wilson with another nice stop behind the dish. And the count moves to 3-2. That's got to help your confidence as a pitcher, too. You got a guy like Wilson back there stopping everything.
Everything. He stops balls that looks like you wouldn't think he'd be able to get to. He gets there and stops them. Johnny Wilson does a very good job back there.
And that is very important when you're on the hill and know that. 3-2 pitch on the way with 2 away. Runners move, and this one downstairs for ball 4 to load the bases.
Well, that's not what you want to see if you're Coach Silkwood over there. Another walk. Bases loaded now.
Now batting the second baseman, number 6, Adam Watts.
Second walk in this inning, 5th in the game now.
And you're right here in the heart of the order. The number 3 hitter, Watts, stepping in.
Adam Watts walked his last time. Takes a strike across the outside corner. That plate looks to be getting a little bit wider.
Well, if I was a Southwestern fan, I'd be wondering where that plate was in the first inning, because that looked in the same spot off that outside corner that Porter was hitting earlier.
I agree. Pitch on the way. In there for a called strike 2.
You know, though, these umpires aren't perfect, Dennis. They're gonna miss one here and there. That umpire's not the reason it's 6-0.
2 strikes on the hitter. Strike 3 called on the outside corner, and that'll bring it in to the top of the second inning. 3 more stranded by the Piasa Birds. We move to the bottom of the second. 6-0 in favor of the Explorers. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
Compare a well-equipped Lexus ES to a well-equipped Buick LaCrosse. Get inside each and see what you find. If perfection is what you pursue, this might just change your course. Meet the new class of world class. The 2010 LaCrosse from Buick. May the best car win.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Alongside Brian Lewis, we move down to the bottom of the second inning. A 6-0 lead for the Explorers, who batted around in that first inning. And they were given 4 errors and 3 walks, and ended up with 6 runs on 3 hits in the bottom of that first inning.
Southwestern's had their chances. There's no doubt about it. Both innings, the first and the second, they've had bases loaded, and they've left the bases loaded, stranded out there. 6 base runners already stranded in 2 innings by the Piasa Birds.
Brogan Fisher will lead things off. Right-handed hitter, reached on an error his first time, and he takes the first one downstairs for ball 1 from the right-handed hurler Zach Porter, back out there for inning number 2 for the Piasa Birds. Next pitch, swing and a pop-up. Catcher headed toward the dugout, but this one out of play. And the count now 1-1 on the right-handed hurler, Brogan Fisher.
Fisher really going after that high fastball there. Ahead in the count, Porter threw a fastball up in the zone, up around Fisher's neck. And boy, he was quick to go after and foul it out of play.
1-1 pitch on the way. In there for a called strike 2, and that was a beauty.
Yeah, good job by Zach Porter. He saw how Fisher went after that pitch up in the zone, decided to go down in the zone, and a good fastball there by Porter.
1-2 pitch on the way, inside and fouled off down the right side. Count remains 1-2 on Brogan Fisher.
See what Porter decides to do here. He's thrown him 3 fastballs.
That last pitch up as well, but in on the hands a bit.
If he goes fastball here, he needs to get it elevated even higher, make him chase it.
Up the ladder. He went upstairs, but too high, and Fisher didn't swing that time.
He started to.
He did.
He started to. He held up.
I think he heard you. Here's the 2-2. Swing at a high pitch as he drives deep into right field. This one over the right fielder's head and up against the wall. Fisher headed for second base. He's going to dig for third now as a relay coming in. And Fisher will stand up at third base with a leadoff triple.
Well, Fisher really got into that one. Another elevated fastball, not quite high enough. That was more chest high, and Fisher was able to catch up to it, drive that out over the right fielder's head onto the warning track for a triple. There was 5 pitches there in that sequence, all 5 pitches fastball. Southwestern did not change speeds at all on Fisher there, and by that 5th pitch, he was able to time it.
That'll bring in Derek Starrett. First pitch to him across the outside corner for strike 1. That one looked like it broke back in across the plate.
Well, there's that outside corner there. He's calling it now here.
Some movement there late on that pitch. 0-1 now. This one sails too far outside, and it's 1-1.
That looked like it could have been a slider there. Is Porter not throwing many off-speed pitches? He's going primarily with that fastball.
1-1 count now on the hitter. Starrett. There's a strike, and Porter out in front now, 1-2.
Starrett looks frustrated with himself that he took that pitch, as that was a good-looking fastball right down the heart of the plate, and he took it.
1-2 on the hitter Derek Starrett with nobody out, runner at third base. Pitch on the way, swing, cued foul, and it's still 1-2.
Derek Starrett, the basketball star of Marquette, playing center field for the baseball team.
Hitting in the 3-hole. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a shot down the right field line, foul. What a year for the Explorer basketball team.
They've had a couple good years in a row now, more wins this year than last year, 2 regional titles.
And they're young. 1-2 pitch now on the way to Starrett. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and there's 1 away.
Good job by Porter there, not really giving in, keeping that fastball out away from him. Now you got Johnny Wilson stepping up to the plate with 1 out. Man on third.
Wilson singled into left to drive home a run. His last time up. Digs in from the right side with 1 away and a runner down at third. That's Fisher. Pitch off the plate for ball 1. Big Johnny Wilson digs back in, taps the plate. He's ready.
He's going to be looking dead red here.
A 1-0 on the way. Swing and a shot out to short. Line drive caught by the shortstop. And back to third base safely is Fisher, and there's 2 away.
Well, Johnny Wilson's first at bat, he hit that same line drive, but he hit it over the head of the shortstop. That time he didn't quite get it high enough. Hit it right at Orban, the shortstop, who was able to catch it and hold the runner at third, obviously. Now there's 2 outs. Marquette already has 1 big 2-out RBI hit today, and see if they can get another.
Here's the first pitch on the way to Adam Harder outside for ball 1. That pitch to Wilson looked like it was inside a bit. Didn't really get the meat of the bat on the ball.
He got it inside enough, got it down on his hands just enough.
1-0 pitch, sails inside for ball 2 to the right-handed hitter Harder. Walked and scored his last time. Zach Porter gets a sign. 2-0 pitch on the way. and it misses for ball 3. Wind blowing out here at Gordon Moore Park. Not much of a wind, but flag straight out to center. Pitch inside for a called strike, and taking all the way, the right-handed hitter Adam Harder to make the count 3-1.
I don't think Harder will be taken here if he throws that pitch again.
3-1. Swing and a shot down the first base line, drifting toward the fence and out of play. And the count now 3-2 on the right-handed hitter Harder, with 2 down here. Bottom of the second inning. Runner down at third.
Harder a little late on that fastball. Fastball from Porter. That one pretty much cut the plate in half as he was going right at the hitter with that 3-1 count. Harder couldn't quite get to it.
3-2 pitch on the way, and strike 3 called on the outside corner. A strikeout to retire the side. We'll move to the third. 6-0 in favor of the Explorers. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
When you own a business, your loss could be your employee's loss too. That's why you should put American Family Insurance and me to work right away. I'm Gerard Fisher of American Family Insurance. I can help you design property and liability coverages that fit the needs of your specific business. Interested? Call me, Gerard Fisher, at 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
You'll find it at Mallory's. Mallory's Sporting Goods in Wood River. Your high school gear and sportswear? It's at Mallory's. Athletic equipment for the little tykes? You'll find it at Mallory's. How about team gear and uniforms, or personalized gear and specialty equipment? It's at Mallory's too. You'll find it all at Mallory's Sporting Goods, just minutes from your school off of 255, right next to the Walmart complex on Vaughn Road in Wood River.
Welcome back to Gordon Moore Park. Dennis Laird alongside Brian Lewis. We move now to the top of inning number 3. 6-0 in favor of the Explorers. Brogan Fisher back out to the hill, and they'll face the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Southwestern. It'll be Jordan Orban, the shortstop, leading off, and he struck out his first time back in the first inning. Orban waits on the first one from Fisher to start the top of the third, and it's across the inside corner for strike 1.
Fisher started him out with a breaking ball there, first pitch of the at-bat. Good looking breaking ball. Johnny Wilson kind of caught that a little bit low, but it's still a strike.
The 0-1 pitch. Another big breaking ball that drops in there for strike 2.
Well, Orban, the first one was kind of a nasty curveball. That one there, Orban gave up on. That was a hanger from Fisher, but Orban gave up on it a little bit too early.
2-strike pitch to Orban, and he half swings and fouls it off to stay alive at 0-2.
Fisher throws the fastball there just to keep him honest, and I would imagine they're going to go back to that breaking ball after the way Orban looked on the first 2.
Fisher brings the 0-2 home. Fastball, and just missed on the outside, 1-2.
You know, that looked like one of those where the catcher was set up inside. The pitcher threw it outside. Looked like it was still a strike, but because he missed his spot, the umpire didn't give him the call.
The 1-2 pitch. And that one cued down the first baseline, foul. And the count remains 1-2.
You know, when you see that in the big leagues, you understand it. But when at this level, you know, those kids aren't going to hit their spot like that every time. So if it crosses that plate, let's lift that right arm up, you say?
Well, the umpires are not big leaguers either. So
yeah, that's true, too. I guess I wasn't thinking about that.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. A curveball that's swung on and hit out to third. Bobbled the throw in time over at first, and first base coach does not like that.
Well, it looks like first base coach is saying that Schrank's foot had extended off the base when he stretched, but obviously from here we can't tell. Dick Lyons punches out the base runner down there. Silkwood bobbled that a little bit. He didn't come attack the baseball. He got caught flat-footed, but has a very strong throwing arm as he showed it off there, as he barehanded it off the ground and fired it across the diamond. Very close play at first, and the runner called out.
That'll bring in Stephen Jones. who walked his first time and was left stranded back in the first. Pitch to him in there for a called strike at the knees.
Looks like we got a little advanced scouting going on here tonight as I see Roxana coach Arbuthnot sitting down here with a clipboard.
Yes, they play Marquette soon. 0-1. Outside corner for strike two.
He's probably getting a little information on both of these teams as they are in the same conference.
I think about a week away they play Marquette, maybe a little less. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three.
Well, hard fastball there by Brogan Fisher, running it inside. Started down the middle, ran in on the hands of the hitter, and just couldn't quite get to it.
Got to bring in Ryan Castings, a strikeout victim his first time.
Ryan Casting, a junior. He's an interesting young man. He plays basketball up there and does some things. He comes down to Lewis and Clark with us and takes some lessons through the wintertime. If he can figure a few things out, Dennis, by next year, Ryan Casting might be somebody on the mound.
Here's a breaking pitch that misses inside to him. The count 1-0. Next one on the way to him and outside. The count now 2-0 on Ryan Castings. Brogan Fisher steps off the back of the hill, now climbs back on top. Castings digs back in, waits on the 2-0 pitch. It's headed home. Misses outside. 3-0. I still haven't figured out the outside part of the strike zone yet.
I wasn't going to say it. I get on the umps enough in my business. I was going to leave it alone.
I'm just saying consistency really helps. Here's a 3-0 pitch that sails inside for ball four.
You know, at any level, except possibly the big leagues, but even there, you could throw 3 pitches in the same exact spot 3 times in a row, and it's going to be 2 of one and 1 of the other. So flip a coin sometimes.
Sometimes. I heard an umpire say once, today it might be a strike, tomorrow it may not be a strike.
I guess that all depends on the day the ump's having, huh?
That's right. Fisher looks over to send the runner back to first base. Castings down there now, reached on the 2-out walk. Zach Porter digging in, fly to left. Lead off the second. Here's a pitch down the dirt that Wilson does a nice job of blocking, and the count 1-0 to the right-handed hitter, Zach Porter.
Johnny Wilson, very good with that glove. On that time, didn't have necessarily the proper technique, but was smooth enough with the glove to keep it right there at his feet.
1-0 pitch. Misses outside. 2-0.
Yeah, Fisher's trying to be a little bit too fine here right now. He's got 2 outs. He's got a 6-run lead. He just needs to throw that fastball right down the middle and use his defense. Just pound that zone.
2-0 pitch on the way, and this one sails outside for ball 3. And Fisher come out, set down the first 2, and walked Castings, and now behind 3-0 to Zach Porter. Comes to the belt. The pitch all the way. In there for a called strike 1. 3-1.
That time Fisher took his time a little bit more, didn't rush as much. His emotions were getting the better of him there for a few pitches. He was rushing through his motion. That time he relaxed a little bit, focused, and threw a strike. We'll see if he can do it again.
Here's a swing and a tapper towards second. First baseman trying to cut it off. Second baseman will get there, and over covering is Fisher to complete the play. 4-1 for the final out here in the top of the third inning. No runs, no hits. The man left stranded. We move to the bottom of the third. 6-0 in favor of the Explorers. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
Everybody's saying buy American, but not me. I just want you to come drive American. Come out today and see for yourself. No one has a more impressive selection of vehicles than Ford. Whether it's a Focus, Fusion, Escape, Edge, F-150, or any other Ford product, no one can beat Ford's quality. Not Toyota, not Honda, not anybody.
Roberts Motors, your hometown dealer for over 60 years, just off Route 3 or Highway 67 in Alton, or at RiverBender.com.
Ace Hardware in Bethalto is your helpful place. It's where you'll find more than 70,000 items in the store and even more online. It's where the people know how to solve your problems. It's where top brands like Benjamin Moore, Still, and Craftsman make your jobs go smoothly and with confidence. It's where hot buys sizzle each and every week. Ace Hardware in Bethalto is more than helpful. They save you time and money too.
Welcome back to Gordmore Park. Dennis Laird alongside Brian Lewis. We move to the bottom of inning number 3. The Explorers up there leading 6-0. Anthony Silkwood set to lead it off. Tyler Moore will follow.
Marquette, the third baseman, number 5.
Here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Silkwood, 0 for 1, struck out his first time. Right-hander Zach Porter back out of the hill for Southwestern. First pitch to him. Swing and a tapper. Shortstop over. Takes a tough hop, guns, and gets Silkwood for out number 1.
Silkwood up there, first pitch swinging. That fastball out away from him. He wasn't able to get to it, kind of got around it, hit a little chopper to the shortstop. Good job by Orban. 1 pitch, 1 out for the Explorers.
That's efficiency there. If you can get your entire pitching staff to be that efficient, Brian. Here's a swing and a miss at the first one.
Sometimes efficiency has to do with lack of thinking of the hitter, too.
Okay.
So we need both of those things to work.
Here's a pitch. Inside for strike 2. So how do you get in the hitter's head before he gets up there? That's what you want to do, right?
I used to be better at that when I was younger.
0-2 pitch on the way.
You know, from a hitting coach and an offensive standpoint, you just really got to get the kids to understand that even if it's not the beginning of the game, not the first inning, every inning's like that. If you're leading off, no matter the inning, no matter where you're at in the order, you got to go like a leadoff hitter.
Right.
And a lot of kids don't understand that.
Here's a 1-2 pitch, and swung on, hit into right field, a fly out to right. For out number 2 as Tyler Moore flies out to right field, and that'll bring in Austin Sehner at the triple and 2 RBIs in the bottom of the 1st.
That was that big 2-out hit in the first inning we were referring to. It was at that time, I believe it was only 3-0, and he smoked that double with 2 outs out there, triple, out into right center field, scoring 2 runs.
Sehner digs in from the right side with 2 away here at the bottom of the 3rd. Pitch sails outside for a ball past the catcher. And Sehner ahead in the count 1-0.
You know, just to finish the thought that we were talking about earlier, even at the college level and up into the low levels of minor leagues, guys don't understand when they're leading off an inning how to do it.
Here's a swing and a foul, and it's 1-1.
It happened to us at Lewis and Clark this afternoon at our game. We had our number 5 hitter up leading off the inning. He swings at the first pitch and hits a little ground ball out. And, you know, his answer is, I'm a 5 hitter. Well, you're not this inning. You're the leadoff hitter. So
right.
Once they can get that through the kids' heads, then they're ready to go.
Here's a pitch downstairs. Move the count to 2-1 on Sehner now. Porter brings home the 2-1 pitch. Now low for ball, and it's 3-1.
It looked like the umpire started to lift that right arm there, Dennis, but thought better of it.
3-1 on the way. In there for a called strike 2. Count full now with 2 down. Zach Porter trying to accomplish our first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Pitch on the way. Strike 3 called in the outside corner, and that will send down the Explorers in order. We move to the 4th inning now. 6-0 in favor of Marquette. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
I'll grab the birthday cake. You bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
From its birth in 1931 on Broadway in Alton to its new home on Homer Adams Parkway, welcome to Alton Refrigeration and Home Furnishings. Alton Refrigeration and Home Furnishings earned its outstanding customer service reputation in servicing major appliance brands such as Maytag, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Frigidaire, Samsung, and more. When you think about it, Alton Refrigeration is about providing you with years of comfortable living with worry-free brand name products.
Welcome back to Gordon Moore Park. Dennis Laird alongside Brian Lewis. We move now to the top of the fourth inning. Still 6-0 in favor of the Explorers. They got all their runs in the bottom of the first inning. And since then, it's remained the same. There's the first pitch. Sailing up and in for ball one to the leadoff hitter, Philip Reedy.
Brogan Fisher with ball one again. Coach Silkwood's got to be getting a little bit frustrated with that.
Pitch upstairs for ball two.
There's nothing that drives a coach more crazy, or crazier, however you want to put that, than when you have a big lead and your pitcher's not just going out there throwing strike one. And when your coach is a former professional pitcher, it makes him even crazier.
2-0 pitch, and therefore called strike one. It's 2-1 now. I'll tell you what, as a fan, it drives me crazy. I don't know, especially with a 6-0 lead. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2 now. Fisher looks in, gets a sign from Wilson, brings home the 2-2, and a swing and a miss by Philip Reedy for the first out.
See the natural run on Brogan Fisher's fastballs. Those last two looked as if they were inside corner, maybe middle in, and just ran right in towards the hitter off the plate. But, you know, once the hitter starts his swing and he's committed, he can't really stop. And that's what happened to Philip Reedy right there.
And that will bring in the catcher for the Southwestern Piasa Birds, Kaiki Shimabukuro.
You're getting better.
I am.
You're getting better as the game goes on.
He takes ball one upstairs. And that brings me to my next subject, first pitch strike. Here's a swing and a tap down the third base line, and it's 1-1. I hear all the time how important it is to throw first pitch strike in any situation. Is that still the same at this level?
Still top of the list. Best pitch in baseball at any level is strike one, especially when you can do it on the first pitch.
1-1 on the way, and this sails outside. Makes the count 2-1. Now, how about the 1-1 pitch there? Strike two, a big pitch, and you want to get ahead of the hitter.
On 1-1 though, you do kind of they'll chase a little bit. You don't really go right at them.
Here's strike two called across the outside corner. The count 2-2 now. Because that hitter wants 2-1. Then he's sitting pretty.
Absolutely.
So it seems like that 1-1 pitch would be almost as important as that first strike pitch. Here's a half swing, and he held up. Ball gets by the catcher back to the screen. It's 3-2.
No, the thing is most times, even if a hitter swings at the first pitch of an at-bat, if you look at the numbers, or at least at the levels of college and professional, they don't get a hit very often. So even if they're swinging, they're not getting a hit.
Here's a swing and a foul off, and that sends everybody scrambling out of the Southwestern dugout. They come off the pole behind the home plate area here and then shot toward the dugout.
Oh, minorly dangerous right there for the Southwestern Piasa Birds in the dugout.
Stay alive in the dugout. Here's a 3-2 swing and a high fly to center field. Center fielder drifting towards right will haul it in for out number two.
Well, Shimabukuro just missed that. Just got underneath it a little bit. He got pretty good piece of the ball, sending it out there to right center, but not quite enough. A little bit too much air underneath it. Starrett was able to get over there into the gap and make the catch.
That brings in Hunter Watson. He's been on base twice. Singled his last time and walked in the first. Left-handed leadoff hitter for Southwestern swings through the first one, 0-1.
That last at bat for Hunter Watson, he was able to stroke one out there into right field, and on that swing, it looked like he was a little bit too pull happy. Pulled off just a little bit of that fastball in the outer half.
Next pitch on the way. Sails inside. Count 1-1 now on the left-handed hitting Hunter Watson. Fisher rocks, brings home the 1-1. In there for a called strike 2.
That was a good-looking fastball there. 1-2 count. Maybe go back to that breaking ball that he threw on the back foot of the left-handed hitter.
Pitch on the way, swing, and a chop right back to the hill. Nice stab there by Fisher. He'll fire on for the final out here in the top of the 4th inning. And we'll move to the bottom of the 4th. Still 6-0 in favor of the Explorers. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
Since 1947, St. Peter's Hardware and Rental has been helping you get the job done right. When planning a do-it-yourself project, party, or event, turn to St. Peter's for what you need to make it successful. St. Peter's carries brand-name tools like DeWalt, Bosch, and Milwaukee, quality True Value paints backed by a lifetime warranty, and everything else you need from gadgets to grills. Shop in-store or shop online. St. Peter's Hardware and Rental, the best products, service, and expert advice. At Jack Schmidt Chevrolet in Wood River, we make car buying a breeze. A member of our sales team will assist you in selecting the perfect new or GM certified pre-owned vehicle, and we back it up with our guaranteed price policy. Our commitment to you continues after the sale with genuine Goodwrench service. So if you don't know where to get the best deal on quality vehicles and service,
You don't know Jack Schmidt in Wood River, Illinois.
Welcome back to Gordon Moore Park. Dennis Laird alongside Brian Lewis. We move now to the bottom of the 4th inning. 9-1-2 due up for the Explorers. Zach Porter back on the hill, and he fires the first one in there for strike 1. The next one on the way, and it's inside to Peter Ball.
See, right there's a good example of where Porter gets ahead with that first pitch fastball. He goes right down the middle, gets 0-1, and then he can play around a little bit. He moves the hitter's feet with an inside pitch there.
Swing and a miss at that one, and he's out in front, 1-2.
See, that's when you're pitching a little bit. You can actually pitch when you work ahead. Then you can play around a little bit with this, that, and the other. But when you're working from behind, you just got to throw a strike, throw a strike, throw a strike.
Pitch upstairs for ball 2.
We'll see what Zach Porter decides to do here with a 2-2 count on the 9-hitter.
Here's a swing. He tipped it, but right into the glove of the catcher for the strikeout. And there's one away.
That's a couple times tonight the Explorers hitters have foul tipped that last strike, and Shimon Bakura doing a good job of squeezing it back there 2 or 3 times this evening. He's done that. You know, that's a quality in a catcher that is a great quality that you don't think about a lot. There's some guys that they can't squeeze that foul tip all the time.
Leadoff hitter in there now for the Explorers takes strike 1. Nick Schrank reached base in the first and scored and flied out in that same inning. Pitch sails inside to Schrank.
It's kind of the same sequence as we saw before. He gets ahead 0-1 right there, then he runs one inside to move the hitter's feet.
Here's a smash out to second base. That's a hang with him. He got the liner. And there's 2 away.
Yeah, Nick Schrank really got into that one as he smashed that at the second baseman, number 6. But Adam Watts able to make the catch out there for Southwestern.
That brings in Brogan Fisher.
Brogan Fisher trying to help himself here. Marquette not done a whole lot since that first inning when they put 6 on the board.
Swing and a miss by Fisher for strike 1. Fisher tripled his last time back in the second inning and was stranded there with nobody out. Digs back in with a strike on him. Pitch on the way. Outside corner, strike 2. Fisher scored back in the first inning when he reached on an error. 6-0 in favor of the Explorers here in the bottom of the 4th. Swing and a miss by Fisher, and back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings for the right-hander Zach Porter. He's now retired 9 straight. We move to the 5th. 6-0 in favor of the Explorers. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
There's a long pass. It looks like it's going to be overthrown. Oh, the receiver dashes under the ball and makes the catch. Touchdown!
Where did he get that extra burst of speed? That off-season training really paid off.
Alton Memorial Hospital's Human Motion Institute Sports Performance helps athletes maximize their potential and improve their game. With sports performance training, you'll leap higher, run faster, and throw farther. Learn more at altonmemorialhospital.org. Human Motion Institute Sports Performance, building better athletes.
Welcome back to Gordmore Park. Dennis Laird alongside Brian Lewis. We move to the 5th inning. Still 6-0. All the runs scored in the bottom of the 1st inning by the Explorers. And they're out there now in the field and pitching to Summers, who grounds it out to short. Firing over for out number 1. There's one away.
1 pitch, 1 out there, Dennis. 1 pitch, 1 out.
I love that efficiency. Keep that pitch count down. Keep that arm in good shape. And keep that defense on their toes.
See, as you saw there, Fisher throws a fastball. It's pretty much right there, belt high down the middle. And the young man can't get a hit off of it. It's just, that's what happens when you swing at the first pitch more times than not.
Pitch upstairs to the number 3 hitter, Adam Watts. Fisher brings home the 1-0. Breaking ball, doesn't quite break it up. Stays inside, it's 2-0. Well, I think the most important thing about throwing strikes is keeping your defense ready to go, because you start walking people, they get lethargic, they get their heads down, and that leads to errors as well.
Absolutely, and you wonder if maybe that's what had an effect on the Piasa Birds a little bit in that first inning with their defense, making the errors and the walks ahead of it and kind of staying around, because it didn't happen to Marquette in the first only because their defense didn't have to make any plays after the walks. Brogan Fisher did a good job of striking hitters out after he made the 3 walks.
2-1 pitch in on the hands, and it's popped up towards second, and hauling that one in for out number 2 is the Explorers second baseman, and that will bring up the cleanup hitter, Jordan Orban.
We'll see what Jordan Orban can do here, trying to get a 2-out rally started for Southwestern.
He is 0 for 2, swings at the first pitch, and it's a base hit in the center field. He still swung at the first pitch, so Brian.
Yeah, but what was the difference there?
I don't know. My head was down. I just seen him swing.
Hanging curveball. He went with the breaking ball there. He threw the 0-0 breaking ball, trying to drop it in the zone. And Orban did a nice job staying on it. It was sitting right there on the tee, and he smashed it into center field.
So that's the exception to the rule.
Well,
a mistake, you hammer.
If you look at the equation, it's a mistake, it's a hanging curveball, and it's the cleanup hitter. You know, you put those things together,
okay,
you might get a hit there.
Here's a swing and a miss for strike 1 by Stephen Jones, who's the number 5 hitter, and is 0 for 1. Struck out his last time, walked back in the first. Pitch down low. Wilson firing down to second as the runner breaks, and he'll be safe down at second base with a stolen base.
Not a bad throw there by Johnny Wilson. Good jump by the base runner, getting going. Wilson with a good throw. Second baseman Peter Ball a little bit late getting to the bag. He was obviously able to catch the ball, but if he's at the bag a little sooner in position to make that tag, they might have the runner.
1-1, fouled straight back. They got 1-2. Wilson had a tough pitch to handle there down low, too, and he got a nice throw off.
Yeah, Johnny Wilson, you look at the young man and you think that he's probably not very athletic, but that's not the case. He's athletic. He's got soft feet, soft hands. He does a good job back there for the Marquette Explorers.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a shot towards the hole and past the third baseman into left field. Here comes a runner around third to score. An RBI single, 2-out RBI single by Stephen Jones, and the Southwestern Piasa Birds are on the board.
Well, if you're Brogan Fisher, you need to get away from that breaking ball. Southwestern hasn't proven they can hit your fastball all day long. They've got 3 hits on the game, and the last 2 have been on your curveball. You know, your fastball's getting past them. They're late to it. When you throw that breaking ball, you're speeding their bat up. You're letting them be able to get their head to the ball, and that's what's going on right now.
Ryan Castings digs in and takes strike 1.
Sat out here last night. I watched a similar thing happen to Jason Roberts of Alton High. Belleville West never came close to hitting his fastball, but then they kept throwing the curveball after it, and they kept pounding the curveball.
Here's a swing and a tapper. Fisher off the hill. Slides, but throws on no good. Throws wild over to first base. Here comes a runner around third. He's going to score. And the hitter going to go all the way to third base as they try to dig it out of the bullpen down there.
Well, a little chopper right there out in front of the plate, a little bit to the third base side. Fisher got to the ball quickly, but lost his footing. Slipped a little bit. Then when he regained his balance, he tried to throw it probably a little harder than he needed to. Made a wild throw, went all the way down into that right field bullpen, and the run was able to score, and the hitter was able to get all the way around to third base. I believe that was Ryan Casting. Yeah, Ryan Casting, the hitter, now at third base, and Coach Silkwood will make a visit to the mound, talk with his pitcher, Brogan Fisher.
I'll talk it over for a moment here and try to settle everybody down and get this final out here in the top of the 5th inning. 2-out rally going by the Southwestern Piasa Birds. They've got 2 runs home here on 2 hits to make it now a 6-2 ball game in favor of the Explorers.
I'm sure Coach Silkwood trying to slow down the momentum a little bit, taking some time there, and just telling his defense and Brogan Fisher, there's 2 outs, let's relax, throw some strikes, get back in the dugout.
Here's Porter, Zach Porter digging in, the right-handed hitter, and he takes down low for a ball. Really an unfortunate error there by Fisher. He did a good job of bouncing off to get that ball, just lost his footing. Pitch swung on, tap, foul.
Well, it's definitely his game because there's nobody loosening up down there in the Marquette bullpen, so no doubt Brogan Fisher's in there at least for the rest of this inning.
1-1 pitch. Shaw on the way. Swing and a tapper. Fisher waits on this one to come down and fires over to first for the out. And the Piasa Birds are retired. 2 runs home, though, and 2 base hits. Now it's a 6-2 ball game in favor of the Explorers. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Compare a well-equipped Lexus ES to a well-equipped Buick LaCrosse. Get inside each and see what you find. If perfection is what you pursue, this might just change your course. Meet the new class of world class. The 2010 LaCrosse from Buick. May the best car win.
Welcome back to Gordwar Park. Dennis Laird alongside Brian Lewis. We move now to the bottom of the 5th inning. Back to the hill, Zach Porter, who has retired 9 in a row.
Yeah, Zach Porter really settling in after that triple. I believe it was Brogan Fisher that hit that triple a few innings back, and as you mentioned, he's retired 9 in a row, doing a good job.
Pitch to him. Up high for ball 1. Next one. Misses for ball 2.
Same thing here with Southwestern. No action down there in the bullpen. This is Zach Porter's ball game here in the 5th inning.
Pitch on the way, off the plate for ball 3. This right-hander, Porter, has retired 9 in a row, as I mentioned, 5 via strikeout. The last 9 he's faced. But down 3-0 here, he fires a strike in there to the number 3 hitter, Derek Sterrett, who's 1 out of 2 today. A single and a run scored and a strikeout. Pitch on the way from Porter, and Sterrett fouls that one down the first base line. Count now 3-2.
Well, since that first inning, after that, Porter's done a really nice job of spotting his fastball, hitting his spots with it a little better. He's mixed in that breaking ball a lot more, too, since that first inning. And really done a nice job since then.
Here's the 3-2. Just misses on the outside corner, and Sterrett on here in the bottom of the 5th. Other thing we've seen Porter do pretty good is work that ball inside and outside, working both sides of the plate.
Yeah, since that first inning, he's done all those things. In that first inning, we talked about how he kept going away. But ever since then, he's really done a good job of pitching. It's just might have been too late.
Pitch up high, runner goes. Sterrett sliding into second base with a steal.
Well, Coach Silkwood gets the runner over there to second with the stolen base. Now Marquette with a runner in scoring position for Johnny Wilson, the cleanup hitter.
Wilson, RBI single back in the first, ended up scoring. Lined out to short in the second. Trying to add to a 6-2 lead. Pitch on the way. Upstairs, 2-0 now. How much of an effect do you think that 5th inning had on Porter in it? A little bit longer than he's been used to sitting in the dugout there, and now kind of overthrowing, it looks like. Maybe got excited because his team scored a couple runs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to touch on. When, you're sitting there 6-0, you're the pitcher, your team's down 6-0, and you just start kind of doing your thing and getting guys out, and you don't really think about the team scoring. You look at it like, okay, I'm probably going to lose. Let me just try to do as good as I can the rest of the way. Well, then they start scoring. You get jacked up a little bit, and you come out trying to do too much, and that might be what Zach Porter was doing here. The first couple hitters just trying to overthrow a little bit.
There's a beauty across the outside corner to Johnny Wilson to run the count to 3-1. Porter fires. Swing and a chopper out to short. Shortstop going to third. And will they get Sterrett over there? They do.
Yeah, very, very bad base running there. I can't put it any other way. That's just baseball 101. When you're at second base, ground ball hit in front of you to your right, you hold. Derek Sterrett did not do that. That ground ball hit to short. He took off running, was an easy out at third base. And so Marquette will have a base runner at first with 1 out. And we'll see what Zach Porter does here.
Porter comes to the belt. Runner leads from first. Got him. Fire over there, and he's got him picked off.
It was on the tip of my tongue to mention how big of a lead it looked like that base runner was getting compared to the last time. I believe that's Lawless again, who's courtesy running for Wilson. First time Lawless was on base, he wasn't getting a very big lead. That time, he had a huge lead out there, and Zach Porter picks him off.
Harder bats now with 2 outs and swings and shoots it into center field for a single to keep the inning alive.
Nice job by Adam Harder, staying within himself, just working that ball right back up the middle. A good line drive into center field, and a 2-out hit. And we'll see if Marquette can get another 2-out hit here, maybe push a run across.
And now the base running blunders have cost the Explorers a run here in this inning.
Happens every time like that.
Pitch on the way. In there for a called strike on Silkwood, who's 0 for 2.
With Lawless getting picked off, if you're the coach, you might be a little bit upset about it, but that's a little bit more the game of baseball. The pitcher had a good move, he picked him off, but the base running mistake by Sterrett is really costly.
Here's a swing and a pop-up. Catcher coming back to the fence and hauling it in.
Great job.
That will bring it in to the bottom of the 5th inning. As the Explorers strand 1, we move to the 6th with a score 6-2 in favor of Marquette. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
Why is Roberts Motors #1 in Ford certified pre-owned sales in the St. Louis Metro East?
Visit the 169-point inspection all our vehicles go through.
Maybe it's because we've been doing it for over 60 years.
Or is it the large selection we keep in stock at all times?
Personally, I think the answer is all the above. Stop in today and see. Nobody does pre-owned better than Roberts Motors.
Roberts Motors, your hometown dealer for over 60 years in Alton, Illinois, or on the web at RiverBender.com.
Ace Hardware in Bethalto is your helpful place. It's where you'll find more than 70,000 items in the store and even more online. It's where the people know how to solve your problems. It's where top brands like Benjamin Moore, Still, and Craftsman make your jobs go smoothly and with confidence. It's where hot buys sizzle each and every week. Ace Hardware in Bethalto is more than helpful. They save you time and money too.
Welcome back to Gordon Moore Park. Dennis Laird alongside Brian Lewis. 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for Southwestern here in the top of the 6th. It's Philip Reedy leading off. He's 0 for 2, and he takes the first one up and in for ball 1.
Well, if you're Southwestern, this is right where you want to be. You got your top of the order up here in the 6th inning and see if you can make some noise.
Here's a pitch, and a little squibber out to the pitcher, and he can't pick it up with the bare hand. And safe at first base is Philip Reedy.
You know, that's one there where it comes up in the air off the bat, almost like a sand wedge. It sits right there on the first baseline in the grass. Even if Fisher grabs that bare hand, it's going to be a tough play. Once he couldn't get to that in the air and catch it, you know, his best bet might have been just to see if it would spin foul, but I don't think it was going to either. That's just a lucky shot there by Reedy.
It looks like a hard single in the box score tomorrow. Here's a throw over to first and Reedy back safely.
Well, that's one of those, if mom and dad aren't at the game and you get home and you're eating dinner, you tell them how you roped that single there
right.
in the 6th inning.
Here's a pitch upstairs for a ball. And it's 1-0 with a runner down at first base, Reedy.
Well, while Shima Bakuro's at bat, we got to mention that catch that ended last inning. He did a heck of a job on that foul ball coming right here in front of us to the backstop.
You are right. Crashing
somewhat into that brick wall down there and was able to make the catch as he came into the net. Excellent catch by the catcher, number 5, Kaiki Shimabukuro.
He hits there with runner down at first base. 2-0 count on him. And there's a strike. And how many times do you see that? A good defensive play, and the guy ends up batting in the next half inning.
Most times when you do see it, it's for, you know, some way, somehow, the hitter will have a good at-bat or something goes his way and gets a hit. You know, it's always about the karma.
Had a good swing his last time up as he flied into right field. Here's a throw over to first, back safely is Philip Reedy. Creeps away from first. 2-1 count on the hitter. Pitch on the way, swing, and a foul straight back. He just missed that one. It's 2-2.
He was right on that. You know, that's the time when you see that right there. Now you want to go to the breaking ball or the changeup. You know, you don't want to do it too early. You want to do it when the hitter gets on your fastball. And Shima Bakuro showed right there. He's on it.
Fisher delivers, swing, and a chopper out to short. Shortstop over to second for 1. The throw on to first, not in time. But they get the lead runner.
Shimon Bakuro get down the line pretty good for a catcher, and he was able to beat that out. Double play turn was turned pretty well by Peterball out there. He didn't take too long getting rid of it. Shimon Bakuro just able to beat it out. I guess, you know, from a courtesy run standpoint, I guess you'd do it to rest the kid, but with those kind of wheels, I think you'd leave him out there running the bases.
Especially down here by 4.
You know, I just want to get this on record right now that I am totally against the courtesy runner rule.
You don't like that, huh?
Well, we have a catcher that at Lewis and Clark has never run bases, and he has to now.
Wow.
And he doesn't have a clue.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, you don't think of it from that aspect. But these catchers never run bases, and if they get to college and they have to run, they haven't done it since they were in 8th grade.
Here's a pitch sailing outside for a ball. To Hunter Watson, back to the top of the order for Southwestern.
after about the fourth or fifth base running mistake by this particular young man, and I go over and air him out pretty good, then he finally comes clean with me that, Coach, I haven't run bases in 5 years, and I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
Pitch sails upstairs for ball 2. Two and 0 now on the left-handed hitting Hunter Watson. Throw to first and back safely, the courtesy runner.
It's very close there. Just getting his hand back in before the tag is shrank.
Watson 1 out of 2, a single. Bounced back to the pitcher in the 4th. Walked in the 1st. Waits on the 2-0 from Fisher with a runner at first. Swing and a fly ball to center field. Starrett comes in and will glove it for the out.
Hunter Watson has a nice swing going here tonight. Just got under that one, but he's really squared some balls up off the barrel of that bat here today. Nice swing by the lefty, number 4.
Andrew Summers will dig in now. He's 0 for 2. Reached in the 2nd on a walk. 2 away with a runner at first. Pitch from Fisher, swing and a shot out to second, line drive. That's caught by the second baseman to end the inning. We'll move to the bottom of inning number 6. Our score 6-2 in favor of the Explorers. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
You'll find it at Mallory's. Mallory's Sporting Goods in Wood River. Your high school gear and sportswear? It's at Mallory's. Athletic equipment for the little tykes? You'll find it at Mallory's. How about team gear and uniforms, or personalized gear and specialty equipment? It's at Mallory's too. You'll find it all at Mallory's Sporting Goods, just minutes from your school off of 255, right next to the Walmart complex on Vaughn Road in Wood River.
When you own a business, your loss could be your employee's loss too. That's why you should put American Family Insurance and me to work right away. I'm Gerard Fisher of American Family Insurance. I can help you design property and liability coverages that fit the needs of your specific business. Interested? Call me, Gerard Fisher, at 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Welcome back to Gordon Moore Park. Dennis Laird alongside Brian Lewis. We move now to the bottom of the 6th inning. 6-2 in favor of the Explorers. Right-hander Zach Porter back out there for the bottom of the 6th. Most of these pitchers going the distance so far. He will face Tyler Moore, Austin Senior, and Stephen Peterball, the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Moore digs in and swings through the first one for strike 1.
Well, this pitching matchup that I was excited to watch when I stepped in the booth has finally materialized after that first inning.
Swing and a tapper out there to third. Third baseman firing over to first in time for out number 1. See that a lot with pitchers coming out and taking an inning or so to kind of settle in before they find their rhythm.
Well, both of them did it tonight. It's just that Marquette was able to capitalize on that opportunity and Southwestern wasn't able to. Part of that, as we've talked about, was the defense as well. Southwestern's defense a little shaky in that first inning behind Porter.
Here's a swing and a drive into left field. Center fielder, left fielder are both headed for it, and the left fielder will haul it in for the out number 2.
Well, Austin Senior gave that one a ride into left center. He swung the bat well tonight. He hit that triple into right center earlier in the game. Now he hits one into left center. He's using the whole field. Austin Senior swinging the bat well and seeing the ball very well here tonight.
That brings in the number 9 hitter with quickly 2 outs. Here's a swing and a first pitch single into center field. The center fielder couldn't get to it and comes up short, able to keep that ball from skidding by him and keep the runner at first base.
Yeah, Peterball did a good job staying back on that curveball, hitting it up the middle. Nice line drive. A good play by the center fielder there, able to keep it in front of him and hold it to just a single.
That'll bring in Nick Schrank. 0 for 2 with a walk back in the first and score. Shows bunt and then pulls back for strike one.
Nick Schrank, the younger brother of former Lewis and Clark standout Barry Schrank, pitcher for the Blazers for us.
Here's a throw over to first base and the runner back safely. And what has happened to Barry since?
Barry is in San Diego now, I believe, working a job. You know, he's out of baseball. He graduated from school. He did a heck of a job for 2 years for us at Lewis and Clark.
Here's the pitch inside, and the runner goes. Throw down, not in time. Safe down at second with a stolen base is Peterball.
You know, Barry Schrank has one of the bigger wins in Lewis and Clark history as he went against Pratt Community College some years back. They were ranked number 3 in the nation. We didn't have that great of a ball club that year, and he went out and shoved on them for 6 innings and beat them 2-1. Steve Nash, the Alton High native, came in and got the save that night. It was a heck of a job and a great win in the history of Lewis and Clark baseball. First baseman on that Pratt Community College team was a man named Bob Gibson Jr.
Wow.
Actually, his name was Chris Gibson, but it was Bob's son. Bob was there at the game that day. It was a great, great thing.
1-2 on Schrank. He swings through this one for strike 3 to bring it in to the bottom of inning number 6. 1 hit on the board in the 6th for the Explorers, but they strand him. And we'll move to the 7th with a score 6-2 in favor of the Explorers. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
From its birth in 1931 on Broadway in Alton to its new home on Homer Adams Parkway, welcome to Alton Refrigeration and Home Furnishings. Alton Refrigeration and Home Furnishings earned its outstanding customer service reputation in servicing major appliance brands such as Maytag, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Frigidaire, Samsung, and more. When you think about it, Alton Refrigeration is about providing you with years of comfortable living with worry-free brand name products.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Dennis Laird alongside Brian Lewis, and quickly 2-0 to the leadoff hitter for Southwestern here in the top of the 7th. Adam Watts. Pitch in there for a strike, 2-1. Well, you brought up a St. Louis legend, so we have to talk about Bob Gibson for a second.
Sure. One of my favorites, if not my favorite all time.
I was going to ask you, how much information were you able to pick up from Bob Gibson?
Well, here was the thing this particular day.
Okay.
We were in Florida. It's a beautiful day. And Bob's an older gentleman at the time. This is just a handful of years back. He was not very excited to talk to all of the St. Louis people while he was trying to watch his son play.
Right.
You know, he was getting, we're all over him for autographs and this and that and the other. And he was very gentlemanly for a while. But then it got to be a little bit on his nerves. And so he shut that down pretty quick, moved from where he was sitting so he could enjoy the game. But
that sounds like Bob Gibson. He's good at shutting things down pretty quick.
But I did get a ball autograph by him, so I was okay with that. And his son Chris actually went on to play for Randy March and the Grizzlies a little bit later on. Randy talked with Bob a little bit after that, and Chris played at Southeast Missouri State at the time, or excuse me, after he went to Pratt, and they stayed with it, and he played with the Grizzlies for a little bit. So, and Bob would come down there from time to time, and it's more of a thing where like he would talk to Danny Cox a little bit or Randy, and I'm just listening. I'm not good enough for him to talk to.
Right.
So
it had to be exciting, though, having Bob Gibson around.
Well, you can learn a lot just from listening to Randy March and Danny Cox talk, and you start throwing those other guys in the mix. It's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. That's the only time in my life I'm actually okay with being quiet.
Here's a swing and a drive into center field. It's going, and gone. A 2-run shot off the bat of Jordan Orban, and it's now a 6-4 ball game.
That was a bomb off the bat of Jordan Orban to right center. Deep into the trees out there. He hit that about 400 feet. I know that sign out there says 380 in center field, and he hit that just to the right of it, just to the right of the flagpole. And he had some carry on it, and now there's some life here in the 7th inning for Southwestern. Nobody out. They're 2 runs closer. Still no action in Marquette's bullpen.
And swinging through the first pitch is Stephen Jones, who's 1 out of 2.
We'll see how Fisher comes back from that.
Next pitch. Missing, a bit outside and up, 1-1. Young right-hander still out there trying to close this one out here in the 7th. There's a beauty. It's 1-2. Well, another view of the confidence of this right-hander because he came right back to jump ahead of this hitter. Swing and a miss, and he set him down swinging, so the home run didn't affect Fisher's confidence at all. As you had mentioned earlier, a very confident player.
Yeah, there was, I think all that home run did, at least for that particular batter, was make Fisher throw a little bit harder. Even if his arm wasn't feeling up to it, that's what he tried to do there. He did a good job getting the strikeout.
That brings in Ryan Castings, who's had a couple of good at-bats his last 2 times. He takes strike 1. Reached on an error and walked back in the 3rd. He struck out back in the 1st inning. Swing and a shot towards left field. Left fielder coming in. He'll squeeze it for out number 2. So now the Explorers just 1 out away from nailing down this victory.
Well, that was another good swing there by Casting. He put some good aluminum on that ball. And Harder did a nice job coming in to catch that line drive out in left field. Now Zach Porter, Southwestern's pitcher, stepping into the plate.
And he takes the first one upstairs for ball 1.
We'll see if Porter can extend the inning and get the next hitter to the plate.
1-0 pitch on the way. Strike call to the opposing hurler, Zach Porter, trying to keep his team alive here in the top of the 7th with 2 down. Swing and a grounder out towards short, backhanded. The throw on to first in time, and that's the ball game. The Explorers win this one 6-4 over the Southwestern Piasa Birds. We'll be back to wrap it up after this. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sport.
Ragusa drops to throw. Now lets it go deep down the left sideline. He's got top, and he makes a dandy catch.
Here's another steal by Bradley. Lumpkins all alone. He lays it in from...
Yeah! Woo!
Welcome back to Gordon Moore Park. Dennis Laird alongside Brian Lewis. This one in the books, 6-4 in favor of the Explorers, who come out with 6 runs in the bottom of the 1st inning, and that held up through the entire game as they bring home the victory.
Yeah, well, through the course of the game, each team won 1 inning. It's just that the 1 inning that Marquette won was a lot bigger of an inning than the one that Southwestern won. And Zach Porter was able to settle in after that 1st inning and retire 9 straight Explorers and continue to pitch a well-thrown game, but just too much of an explosion early by Marquette with the walks, the errors by the Southwestern defense mixed in with a few hits, the big triple that inning, and before you knew it, it was 6-0. Then Southwestern settles in, and they get a few runs as they go. The big blast there by Orban in the last inning to get it to 6-4, but in the end, Brogan Fisher just a little bit too much for him on the mound for Marquette tonight.
So it's really kind of tough to pick the actual Munganast player of the game tonight, but we're going to go with Brogan Fisher because he was able to hang on to that 6-0 lead. He only gave up 4 hits, and he had a triple and scored a run.
Yeah, you know, his numbers, his stats, and everything you look at are pretty good outside of the walks. You know, he had a lot of walks, but, 6 strikeouts, that's about a 1-to-1 percentage there, 6-6, 6-7, what he had. That'll cover it up, and he had a big triple at the plate. He does a good job out there. He won a complete game, got the victory, and on a night like that, it's like, when you're trying to find a player of the game, it comes down to him or maybe possibly Jordan Orban. And, the Southwestern didn't win the game, although Orban had a heck of a day, 2 for 4 with the big home run there at the end. And, turned out to be a really nice ball game. It looked like it was going to be sloppy at first and maybe a tough game to watch, tough game to coach, tough game to play, but turned out to be a good ball game, 6-4 win for Marquette. And they'll move on here, I believe, on Friday to take on Roxana in another conference showdown.
And a pretty good effort from Zach Porter, the opposing pitcher as well. He had 1 bad inning, and after that, really shut down the Explorers, so a good effort from Porter. But our Munganast player of the game is Brogan Fisher, 1 for 3 tonight with a triple and a run, and the winning pitcher here tonight, allowing only 4 hits. to the Southwestern Piasa Birds. For my partner, Brian Lewis, Dennis Laird saying have a great evening, everybody.
RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by St. Peter's Hardware and Rental, the best products, service, and expert advice. Mallory Sports, where your sports world begins. Ace Hardware. Ace, the helpful place. First Mid-America Credit Union. New name, same great credit union. Jack Schmidt Chevrolet. If you don't know where to get the best auto deals, then you don't know Jack Schmidt. Alton Refrigeration, the first choice in quality HD TV and appliances. Quality Buick, GMC, Cadillac. Serving the River Bend for 52 years. Barry Macias, professional independent insurance agents. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance. All your protection under one roof. Alton Memorial Hospital, the best health care close to home. Tom Lane State Farm, your good neighbor agent in the River Bend.